Police Department were dispatched to the 3800 block of Avenue P&a-half in reference to a deceased person. Officers and investigators quickly realized this was in fact a homicide investigation. Officers and investigators quickly realized that the deceased was found on the sidewalk, bound and covered with a blanket. An extensive investigation began, and early on in the investigation, Ernest Donnell Pierre was identified as a suspect in this case. The victim was identified as Melvin Walker. The case went cold for several years, and a thorough review began earlier this year, and investigators were able to revisit the case and determine the appropriate course of action. Thanks to advances in technology, forensic discoveries, and ever-evolving DNA methods, Ernest Donnell Pierre was solidified as the primary suspect in this horrendous murder, and formal charges were approved late last week for Pierre. Pierre was transported from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, where he is currently serving 15 years for armed robbery, for robbery and obstruction retaliation, and has been remanded to the Galveston County Jail for the offense of murder in relation to this case. This is a huge step for justice in this case and for the Galveston Police Department. I'm very proud of our team and all the hard work they put in to bring this case one more step closer to justice. I'm going to introduce Chief Bally real quick, and at the end of this press conference, I'll provide photographs of the victim in this case.
This is a huge step for justice in this case and for the Galveston Police Department. I'm very proud of our team and all the hard work they put in to bring this case one more step towards closure for the family of Melvin Walker. We are currently reviewing several cold cases, and with constant developments in DNA technology, we are hopeful that we will continue to bring closure to some of these cases. The Galveston Police Department is here to protect you and your family, our community as a whole. We will never quit. This case highlights the department's commitment to you as well as the hard work of our team members. This is a pivotal accomplishment for the unit. Talent is everywhere. However, talent with dedication, purpose, skill, and direction is what leads us to this type of positive case results. I'd like to introduce Detective Michelle Solenberger, the lead investigator. Without Detective Solenberger's dedication, extensive investigative knowledge, and commitment to justice, this case may have remained cold for much, much longer.
It's my privilege and an honor to work on behalf of Melvin Walker's family in bringing justice to him and hopefully bringing some peace to his family, especially this time of year right before the holidays. Be happy to take any questions.
Mr. Pierre is currently serving time for an unrelated robbery, is that?
Yes, that's correct.
Where did it take place, do you know?
Here in Galveston.
On the technology, the chief mentioned DNA. Can you touch on some of what was used and how it helped in this case?
So 4 years is a really long time in the scientific community. So there's been some advances in technology that have allowed for more specific or sensitive DNA testing to be done. And so back in November of this year, we got the results of that new testing and technology.
And that was to lead to the suspect. Obviously, you knew who the victim was in this case.
We knew who the suspect was, and we had Mr. Pierre identified as a person of interest, but we needed physical evidence.
And that evidence came from where? On the scene where the body was found, or?
A secondary location.
And at the time, y'all indicated that it looked like that his body was dumped on that sidewalk, but the homicide took place somewhere else. Can you go into some of that? Was it here on the island? Was it somewhere out of the area?
I can't get real specific, but I can tell you that it was here on the island. We did identify the original location of the homicide, or where we believe the homicide occurred. However, I can't get into specific details without going into details of the case.
How about the motive in this case?
Meanness.
Did they know each other?
Yeah.
Before this?
Yes.
That's why he was identified early on. Any relation to one another?
No.
They knew each other.
Right.
Some people think that after 4 years, they'll just give up and there won't ever be a solution or the crime won't be solved. Can you talk about how you all kept at it and getting to this point?
It's really difficult especially in this day and age with staffing shortages and other obstacles that we encounter. It's really difficult to allocate resources to cold cases. So a lot of people believe that we just give up after a certain period of time. But the fact is that we never do. Those samples are always at the lab being tested. Those suspects are always being watched. Those witnesses are always being spoken to. So it's really easy to fall into that belief that these cold cases just lay dormant forever, but we're always looking for ways to make a difference in the case.
And in fact, Detective, you came in on this several months ago and started taking a new look at it.
That's correct, about 8 months ago.
You mentioned that he was a person of interest in this case. Do you also believe that he's a person of interest in the case of Donna Brown, who was also believed to be killed as well?
He is a person of interest in an unrelated ongoing investigation.
In the death of Donna Brown?
Yes.
Do you know if he is also the person that's on that surveillance video that you all have working that case?
We're not going to release any information in reference to the Donna Brown case today, primarily because we're taking a harder look at that as well.
How were you able to make the connection that he is also a person of interest in that case?
In the Donna Brown case? Again, I can't really get into the specifics without divulging too much information about that case. And at this point, we don't want to do that because we don't want to tip our hand. I mean, we really want to bring justice to the family of Donna Brown as well. So if we can do that, we're going to keep the integrity of the case.
At the time that this murder had taken place, and your suspect, before obviously was a person of interest, and then since then has gone to prison, was he out on bail at the time? Can you kind of explain?
At the
why he was
time
out?
of,
When the murder actually happened.
he was just in the free world.
All right, so he wasn't
He
out
wasn't out on
at the
bail
time
or
of
anything
murder.
like that. No.
Can you talk about the relationship between the suspect and the victim in this, not the Brown case, but in this case? You mentioned that it wasn't a family relationship. Were they business partners? Were they friends?
From what we know, they were just acquaintances. Yeah.
How was Melvin killed?
Blunt force trauma?
And he was found with, was there a sack over his head or something?
Yes.
And what message do you have to the family now, Mr. Walker?
For Mr. Walker, Merry Christmas. That's, you know, I can't think of anything, any gift that I could buy anybody that would amount to this. It's been a long journey for us, and I can't even imagine the emotional journey it's been for them. So anything that we can do here at the Galveston Police Department to help them through the rest of this process, that's what we're here for.
When were you able to inform Mr. Walker's family?
I formally spoke to them the day that the warrant was issued,
What date was that?
Friday of last week.
What was their reaction?
Just elation. Surprised, very surprised, because again, we fall into that trap of cold cases stay cold, and they didn't think it was ever going to be solved. So they were ecstatic.
Good time for maybe one more question.
Okay.
You mentioned blunt force trauma. Can you elaborate on that at all? Was he, beaten to death? Was he hit by a car?
So we were going to stick with beaten. Yeah. But I can't elaborate any more than that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Detective.
Hey, great work to Detective Sullenberger. She's the heart and soul of this case. Again, to repeat, this is a great day for Melvin Walker's family. I know people have questions about other related cases or unrelated cases, but today is a day for them to just really let their hearts out there and have a breath of relief. So if we could just keep that in mind. If you have any further questions, we can maybe reach out in a few days from now or a week from now. But besides that, we're going to go ahead and conclude. I do have photographs here. First, I'm going to show you the photograph of Melvin Walker. If y'all need to zoom in or anything. I can give y'all another copy here in a minute
Great.
without the,
Thanks.
good.
Everybody good? Yes.
And this is Ernest Pierre's mugshot photograph.
And clarify again, the case he was already in prison on happened on an island as well.
That's correct.
Do you know any other details of his history?
I don't. If y'all need another copy of this, I could actually just send it, if y'all want to write down your emails on a notepad back there, I could just send it to y'all digitally, if that'd be easier.
Certainly.
Okay.
If you could you lean it up against that display case in the wall right
It
there?
may
That
fold.
might be
Here, I'll put tape, put a piece of tape on it.
that right there looks like a
Yeah,
lot
Sergeant,
better
there's
to me.
tape, the tape that you gave me on that counter right behind you. Thank you.